This is Bingu and Choom and K-pop tunes, and I'm Bingu, also known as Lacey.
And I am Choom, also known as Reina.
And before we get into the episode, this is just a reminder to everyone listening that we are not professionals on any of the topics that we discuss. So if there's any information through our research or our fangirling that's out of date or incorrect, just let us know kindly. We are just two fans sharing our professional opinions while trying to be informative, and we're also here to have a great time.
Agreed. Did you read that this time or did you remember it?
I read. I didn't read
Oh.
everything. I kind of skipped all
I
over the
was like,
place.
I am so impressed with Lacey right
Mm-mm.
now. She practiced.
No, it's right here, but I don't need to read the entire thing at this point.
I was so proud. I thought you were just pulling that straight out of your pocket. I was like,
I,
dang.
I should have told you a story and said, yeah, it just came to me.
It's okay. I'm so impressed. You sounded completely professional. No mistakes this time.
Well, let's hope that it stays.
That way.
I will just have the document pulled up every time we do an episode.
Okay, well, today we're here to do another album review.
And guess what? You're never gonna guess, guys.
I knew it is.
It's Monsta X.
Of
Like,
course.
who else?
Who else had a comeback recently that Reina absolutely loves that we would talk about? I wonder.
I don't know.
Trick question.
It's kind of hard. Do you want to tell the listeners, I guess, your story?
My story.
I don't know, girl. Your story of how you got here with Monsta X and how you were able to meet Tobias like 10 times.
Not 10 times.
I mean, that's 10. It's not 10, I'm being dramatic, but it's more than twice, and that's really cool.
It's 5 times now, I think, technically.
Oh my god, does he know you?
Well, last time he said he did, but I don't know if he was just saying that to be, because we have this thing now.
Oh my god, we have this thing now?
No, that's not what I meant, but like, the last 2 calls that I've had with him, I think he's recognized me and he's gotten like really teasing or like cheeky, if that makes sense. And the first call of this comeback period for One of a Kind, which was their most recent comeback in July? No, June. In June, he was like mimicking me throughout the whole call. I'd like do something or I'd get really nervous and my voice would change pitches. And he would copy it, and it of course wasn't until the end of the call when I'm rewatching the footage that I'm like, I'm low-key being made fun of by my ultimate bias right now. It's totally fine.
That's so funny though.
But he did it like every time too, so it wasn't just a like, oh, this is cute, I'm gonna copy it. It was like he did it consistently enough that I was like, okay, I see that this is how this is. And so the second call that I got of this comeback period, I tried for 3 and I only got 2. So the second call I did that I got into, the call it connected and he said hi first. And I forget what else happened, but like I could clearly see there was some recognition there. So I was like, oh, do you recognize me? And he was like, yeah, of course. And the way his voice pitched, I was like, really? I don't know if you do or if you're just saying that. And then he goes, do you recognize me? And I was like, yeah, of course.
What kind of question?
So I copied him and he was like, okay. And he like made a look at the camera and I was like, I don't know if I offended him right now or if we're just gonna tease each other now every time that we get into a call.
I don't think you offended him. I think he was being funny. He was testing the waters.
The way he reacted though, I think it's just gonna be a standard thing where we like either sass each other or tease each other each call.
That should
now.
be your greeting. Do you remember me?
Do you remember?
Do you remember me? I don't know. You're in that K-pop group. You should be like that next
If I
time.
didn't have such bad connection this previous call that I had, I probably would have like been like, I don't know, are you maybe that one rapper from Monsta
I
X?
don't know.
But yeah, I've met him technically. We're slowly upgrading. I had a high touch at the LA concert in 2019, and then the online concert that they did in 2020 after COVID hit, they had like buy a high touch online experience essentially. So it was like a virtual high touch. And I got lucky enough because they only had like 30 spots for that. I got lucky enough to get a ticket for that. So I had like a 30-second call with him, which wasn't as bad as a lot of people made it out to be. They're like, what can you do in 30 seconds? And like, we said at least 3 things to each other, so it wasn't that bad.
30 seconds? Really?
It's really quick, but since that was my first interaction ever, it felt very long because I was so nervous that everything was like slow motion.
How many people?
30.
So 30 it's 30 people.
Yeah, 30 people, 30 seconds. And it's usually 30 for fan calls too, but for fan calls you get 2 minutes.
Oh my god, I would
which
die.
Mine have always gone over to like 2 minutes and 30 seconds or something.
I have to talk to an idol for 2 minutes.
It's not that bad.
Let me out.
I thought it was going to be terrible this last one because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to say. Like, I just wanted another chance to talk to him.
I mean, you're basically a professional.
But I was like, I literally have no questions. Like, I asked him the one question that I wanted, and then, like, the one main thing about our birthdays, I told him during the Fatal Love era. So I was like, I don't know what the heck to talk about. And then he got distracted by my hair, my purple hair. And so we had a whole 2-minute conversation about hair.
That sounds amazing.
It was, but I hung up and I just started laughing because I was like, this is not anything I would have expected in my lifetime.
Next time, you should tell him that he should get his hair purple.
I should. He said he liked it. He was like, I like purple. But he said he wants to do blue, the electric blue that he had. He wants to do that again. Or he wants to go back to white from Drama Rama era.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I told him I approve of that. I was like, I really liked your Drama Rama era hair. So yeah, 3 fan calls, 1 30-second high touch, and then 1 real in-life high touch. And now I'm wondering when I go to the concerts next year, if they don't get rescheduled again, I'm gonna be like, is he gonna recognize me in real life in person?
That'd be really cool. I told my niece that I think we're gonna try really hard.
You should. If the tickets aren't sold out yet, like if you're not looking for something close up like pit, and you're just looking to go, they hands down that their concert in 2019 that I went to was better than any American artist I've ever been to.
Whoa.
I like left.
Yeah, like BAP, like literally every K-pop concert.
But it was like it was better than a tease as well. It was better than Zico, and like I loved Zico and I loved like his live audience interactions. But that Monsta X concert, that like blew me out of the water. So I highly recommend if the tickets are cheap enough to go.
I'm still debating if I want to do that for BTS as well.
I'm never gonna try for a BTS concert. I think my time period for that just expired with how crazy expensive the tickets are.
Well, I am kind of hesitant now ever since Butter dropped, but
that too. But also just like how pricey the tickets are, and then to buy a ticket that expensive and go to the concert, like are they going to perform all of their more American
recent ones?
Yeah, recent songs that are more for the American audience, or are
that's
they
why I said I was still
perform like the ones that I like?
Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna eat now, obviously, but I was so lazy when I got back. I was like, I guess I'm really about to pay for DoorDash, and I did. I got ramen.
Ooh, yeah.
And
are you sure you don't want to eat it like while we're talking? Because it might get soggy, or is it not? It's separate.
It's separate.
Okay, that's good.
It's all separated. I checked. I definitely checked, because if it wasn't,
you'd be like, hey, we're gonna take an intermission.
I would be like, what kind of ramen place doesn't separate their noodles when it's to go? Like with pho. Like, if I ever had a pho to go and the noodles were separated, I would have to speak to the manager. That's an issue. But anyway. And I got the bao bun. Is it a bao bun? No, it's not. I don't remember the term for this. But I got 2 of those because I'm an adult and I can do what I want.
That I know what you're talking about. I only
Is it
know
like a
that
sandwich thing? It's like a sandwich.
a steamed bun, like a filled
It's
dump.
not a bun. It's like
You know what? You
I.
need to take a photo and send it to me because if
It's not. It's
it's
like it's encapsulated in a bun, but it's not a bun. It's not a bun because I don't like buns because it's too much bread.
is it
It's like you know what?
just take a picture or
Let me review my order.
is it a steamed
It's
bun?
not a bun.
But the thing is they're in China and in Japan and in Korea. They're called buns whether they're bread or not, Lacey.
Hold on. I have to give Jose a good review.
Oh.
Okay, it is a bun, but it's not. Whatever. It's a bun. That's
It's
what it
like
says on the menu.
it's
But
a steamed bun.
it's open. It's not in the. It's not like, oh, I don't see the meat or anything. I gotta bite into it to see it. It's not that kind of bun. It's like, oh, it's kind of like a sandwich.
This is getting more confusing.
How is it confusing?
I've never because the buns I'm thinking of are like the the like steamed buns, which are they
Man,
look
I'm
they look like
I'm
dumplings.
about to send you this
Oh my-
screenshot of this bun. It's not a. It's. I'm mad. I'm not mad, but
Frustrated.
before we get into this album, I sent it.
Okay. We should probably cut out the bun talk.
I know it's staying.
It's staying.
Did you get it?
I did, and I've never seen anything like that in my life. What?
That's because I'm a city girl.
Okay.
This is cityfied. I don't know what else to tell you. It's like it's not a bun, but it's a bun. Do you see what I'm saying when I say
see
it?
what you're saying because it's like the bun quote
But it's
the quote the bun is what would encase an actual like steamed bun,
yes,
but
bun.
instead this is like a taco.
Exactly. It's like a sandwich. Anyway, it's one of their most popular items, so I was like, oh, I'll get two, and I'll let you know if that was worth it because it was like $4 for a small bun. But you know, sometimes you just gotta go for it, and that's my story. And that's what I stand for, and that's what made me the person I am today. So, the album. Let's hop right into it.
Oh,
Come on.
man. They're gonna be like, what in the world
Follow
did we
along.
what
Keep
in
up.
the world did we just listen to? So yeah, in June, it was June, right? Monsta X had a comeback with their mini album, One of a Kind, which is what I put in a bunch of effort for the Fancalls for and got two, which is what we were talking about beforehand.
She was working hard, guys.
I became an unofficial Go manager. So if you want to order albums from me in the future, just let me know.
I'm literally, anytime you, for whatever group, just tell me. And I'll be like, yeah, I'll take an album.
The only other group I could try for is probably the boys, but they've gotten so popular now that I'm just like, I'm just gonna stick to Jooheon.
What about ATs?
I wouldn't even. Yeah, they're even more popular. I don't even know if I'd want to attempt that with like looking at the number of albums that I've purchased for these and knowing that I didn't get into one and considering how much I'd have to do for like a tease. I'm kind of like maybe not.
I feel like they were both on like the same level.
Tease is more popular, at least like globally.
Okay.
So I think it'd be too difficult. If I ever do it though, I'll let you know and I'll consider it. But as of right now, I'm just gonna be a Monsta X Go manager.
It's fine with me. That's more albums for me and Camille.
Yeah, right. So this comeback that they had was another mini album called.
Oh, I meant to say, I was definitely triggered with G-Dragon, One of a Kind.
Right?
And the same with like the album art too, I think. It's remembered. I'm
The
having
album
flashbacks.
the album art didn't do anything for me, but One of a Kind, as soon as they said One of a Kind, I like had flashbacks to G-Dragon One of a Kind and was like, what? I actually liked the album art. So the digital version of it
Hmm.
looks like a playing card, like those bicycle playing cards that you buy.
Hmm.
It looks like a playing card, but then you buy the physical albums and they look like dice, and I was like, this is such a cool theme that they have going, like gambling.
Well, I just want to say I was like, oh my god,
I,
it's G Dragon
I really,
again.
I really got confused when they said One of a Kind. I was like, huh?
Because
What?
even G Dragon's album was it's not exact, but they both had the same look and feel. If you look at G Dragon's One of a Kind album and Monsta X's.
You know, now that I actually think about that, yes, because I own the physical copy, and it had that like,
It was like black and gold,
yeah, or
and
like
it had the
black and
same
bronze, or no,
font.
gold, yeah, for and no, it didn't have the same font, but it had like that same feel
Feel.
of like
I don't
bicycle.
know. That's
Like
just what
I
it
don't
is.
know.
It was. It was. I. That's why I literally thought about the album. But anyway, it's not. It is not that deep. I just wanted to point that
I,
out.
I I agree though. I was like, One of a Kind, G Dragon, what?
Oh my god, he's featured.
I mean, he is back from the military. They could.
That would be wild.
That would.
I'm waiting for the moment that happens with any. I don't know. I'm just waiting for that to happen.
I'm waiting for that. I will say one thing though, the font on this album, I've seen that font so many times this summer. I don't know what it is, but K-pop idols are suddenly like obsessed with this font that they used for like the
Yeah, that
teasers and
happens.
everything. And I, as soon as they announced their comeback, I saw that font everywhere, and I'm like, guys.
There's another font that's really popular. I don't know the name of it,
Well, like
but
this font, it wasn't the same everywhere, but there was enough similarity between the fonts that were being used that I was just like, oh, you don't have another font that can be used for
it's funny
these?
because I think I can find this one on Creative Market. It's a nice font. Whoever made it, I'm sure they're just very proud of themselves. I think we used it on a client or tried to. So I'm in the bandwagon. I can help you. There is another font that's becoming popular, but I don't know that one.
It's not a bad font. I saw it everywhere
You gotta use it
afterwards, and I was
before
like, oh,
before it's
okay.
I don't know. People don't really care for it anymore. I don't know. It's a nice font.
Okay, well, this album it was a mini album, so it had 7 songs. 6 of the songs were new. The 7th was a Korean version of another song that they released, which isn't bad, but the more I listened to it, I was like, I like the Japanese version better.
Listen, Japanese singles, I don't know what they put in there, but it goes off every
Well, I mean,
time.
I think I listened to the Japanese version of this song so many times that I have the Japanese
Oh.
lyrics stuck in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's certain portions of the song where I'm like, I'm gonna sing along, and it's still wrong.
Cannot.
Or like it's not, because they switched the English words to the Korean instead, and I'm like, oh, awkward.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. We were doing that. That's fine.
That was number 7 though, Living It Up. That was the Korean version. I like both versions. I just can sing along better to the Japanese version.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, at least it's not. What song is it that has a version in Japanese, Korean, and English? Shootout. Shootout has 3 different versions of the song, and if I put my Monsta X playlist on repeat, whenever Shootout starts in my car, I am like, which version is it gonna be?
That would make me so upset. I already get upset like that with Jungkook's album because he has instrumentals for.
Well, that's how it starts too. It starts with the like doot doot doot, and I'm like, okay, Shootout, but which version?
I'm like, it better be the lyrics. I better hear some lyrics or I'm gonna be upset. My Apple Music would always play me with that. But let's talk about the first song. Let's talk about
Well,
first song.
was Gambler, the title track, and it was written and composed by Jooheon.
It was great.
It was great. Even my mom liked it, which I told him, and he was like, "Really?"
Yo, mom.
He was like, "Oh, thank you so much, mom." And I showed my mom the video, and she was like, she was super excited. But She likes K-pop, so.
Mm-hmm.
But it's his first title track. He's always participated in the B-sides, and it's his first title track ever.
Congratulations. You did amazing.
He did do amazing. It's a really good song. Do you want me to play it?
I always want you to play.
Oh, okay. I just don't know which ones we're playing this time.
Well, I would say that one because
it's the title, yeah. Okay, wait. I gotta choose a moment in this. The pressure is on.
it's not that much pressure. It's just me.
It's not. Actually, should I just play it from the start? Because it starts off really good.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the pressure's on to end it.
Just listen to your heart.
If you don't know, now you know. Okay. Deal. 오묘한 기류 끈적이는 눈빛. Oh yeah, I like that. 모든 걸 betting해 내 맘을 빼앗아 너. What you want? Secret. Don't you really wanna feel alive? 아침까지 flip that. 간지러운 불장난 I want something deeper 이라미 강한 끌림이 와 아직은 알 수 없어 널 perfect 또 다른 느낌이 와 어둠에 감춰 너 on my heart is beating now So sweet한 네 미소 속에 난 빠져들어 널 trigger 난 홀려 널 밀어내려 해봐도 널 잊어보려 해봐도
I had to commit at that point. I could have cut it off, but I could have played it later in, but at that point I had to commit because I was like, I need to get to the 0-0 Lucky Bang part.
I would have listened to the entire track. Just keep playing it. It's fine.
That's why I was like, now I have to commit to ending because when the song starts, I like to listen to it.
Well, another favorite track, well, for me, is Heaven because that's on my playlist.
Oh, nice.
It's like that track. I don't know. It's giving me summer.
Summer vibes for it?
Just like it's giving me. That's just how. Maybe because it's summer outside. It's just giving me summer for me.
Huh, interesting.
I don't know. Not necessarily like vacation, but I can't describe it. But it's a good song. Okay, I don't know what else to say. Maybe I'm just saying it's summer because it's literally summer. But I just like Heaven. It's a really nice track.
I'll play it in a second. I'm gonna backtrack to Gambler though to just say that I really liked the different like musical styles in it and how it still felt like Monsta X, but it felt different and new. Like the guitar riff when that happened, I was like, "This is so cool." And
yeah, that is different from Monsta.
It just had like a very funky kind of sound, I guess, if that makes sense. While also being like the standard Monsta X, like hard. So
I understand.
You understand? Do you have anything to add?
No, I just like the track. The video was nice.
Yeah, the video. Jeremy didn't like the video, but Jeremy doesn't matter here.
It was like we needed a music video like that of the whole. Was it like Mafia?
Yeah, I would say Mafia-ish.
Something like that. I would say Mafia. I feel like every group, you have to do it. You have to. It's in the contract.
They've definitely done things similar though, concept-wise to it, but like, or at least like styling and concept-wise. But the music video was cool because it seemed to follow a plot-ish.
Yeah, there was definitely a story.
Because they were like Mafia, or they were the other people may have been Mafia because at the end they were in the cop cars.
Yeah.
Were they undercover?
They were not Mafia, or
maybe,
were
but
they?
Maybe they were.
Because they could have just borrowed cop cars. I didn't feel like they were actually cops, honestly. I just felt like it was a facade.
It was all a grand scheme.
Yes. That's how I felt. I was like, oh.
But I like how it left it. I like how it left it open ended though. Like, were they the cops or were they the mafia? You could go either way depending on how you interpreted it.
Maybe they're just part of another mafia. And they're like, oh, we got them good. I enjoyed it. Okay,
I did. It was I liked it, and it was nice to have like a less visual music video from them because I feel like most of their music videos recently have just been like very visual.
visual
As in, there's like scenes of and like shots of the members, but then it's like the dance shots
so
mixed
just
with more shots of the members, whereas this felt like you were following a storyline nicely mixed
yeah,
with shots of the members mixed with dancing shots. I don't know if that makes sense at all.
it felt more like a story to
Yeah.
me instead of it being a music video, like you said. Yeah.
Okay. I'll play Heaven because that was Lacey's favorite song.
You didn't like it?
I didn't not like it. I liked this whole album, and I've had it on repeat for like the entire month. I think
Yeah, that's
this is
valid.
one.
You did say you've had it on
I
repeat.
think I like this entire album as much as well. My favorite album is Take One, Are You There? That's like my all-time favorite album. I can listen to that album on repeat like constantly. Fatal Love was really good for like a full album. We went over that.
It's been a minute since I played that album.
But like that's the thing. I liked all of it, but it's been a while since I've played it. Whereas like Take One, Are You There? I go back and listen to the songs on that all the time. Like sometimes I'll just, as I'm driving to work, put that album on repeat and listen to that album. Like first song till very last song. And I've been doing that recently with One of a Kind too. So album wise, I think this like takes one of the top spaces of I really love this whole album. And I've not disliked any of the albums that they've put out before, but it's just one of those ones, like I was saying, I put on repeat. I've been listening to this nonstop since it came out, and it's not like a one song deal or a couple songs deal. It's I just play it on shuffle and let it go through the album multiple times until I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go listen to that one boys song. Okay, back to Monsta X. So I didn't dislike Heaven. I just my favorite song on the album was not Heaven.
Okay.
But I think you might be surprised which one it was.
Well,
we're gonna play Heaven first and discuss it. It's a surprise. I'll let you guess after. I'm gonna play your song and hope that I chose a good spot.
I didn't listen continuously like you have, so it's gonna be a horrible guess.
Just open the playlist or like open the track list and take a guess.
Okay.
But first.
Okay. Yeah.
우리들만의 산으로 가득한 ride 기회로 했다 contigo 시간은 물어보지 마 흘러가게 내비둬 어차피 모든 게 흘러가도 난 여기 있어 Hope you're having a good time Cause I'm happy to die 어쩌면 여긴 heaven 너와 함께라면 어디든가 I can't let go 구름 타고 drive 지금 기분 fly 끝이 없는 ride 엑셀을 더 힘껏 밟아봐 구름 위로 slide 지금 기분 high 어둠을 뚫고 나와 함께한 그곳으로
I stand by my statement.
I was actually after as soon as I hit play, I was like, oh, I remember. I see where she's getting this from. Just because like I've listened to all the songs so many times that it all like blends together, and so I was like, Heaven, huh? Summer, huh?
It's totally
but
summer.
Now, it's definitely like I want to buy a drink from the bar and just sit out at the poolside.
That makes me just I just want to drive
with the windows down.
Yes.
Have a nice like road trip and the weather's perfect and not too hot.
Of course. Yes. I want to drive across one of the bridges in Florida where you just have ocean around you.
That's the vibe of the song. It is. I agree. You're just like, I know.
Yes, that's how I swear I transport to when I listen to it. But yeah, I just really like that song because it has summertime vibes and it makes me feel good.
It's very chill and easy listening too. Like there's not too much auto-tune on it. Changhyun throws in that like Spanish rap, but it's still very like calm and just easy on the ears.
Yeah, it's a little fun.
It is, yeah. And Jooheon wrote and composed that song too.
He did great.
And
you let him know that I said.
He always does great.
You let him know I said that.
Okay.
When you talk to him again,
I'm just gonna
just be like, Heaven, you did that.
It's gonna be a whole other era, and I'm just gonna be like, just so you know, I need to talk about one of a kind eras.
I know we have 30 seconds, but Lacey specifically said you did that with Heaven. And maybe one day he'll listen. So you did that. You did amazing. That was great.
He did. I asked him this last fan call. I was like, can I give you compliments? Because I wanted to tell him that he did that and like how amazing he did. And then he saw my purple hair and he was like, oh, I like your hair.
The hair.
The hair I should have told him the hair matches their albums. Oh, that's an opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try to guess.
Okay.
I'm scared. I think your favorite song. I'm not good at this. I'm going towards Feeling, and I'm gonna go to Addicted.
Oh, you were right. Yeah. Oh, good job. See, you do know my style.
It was.
I thought you would be surprised just because it's still my style, but like a little bit calmer than most of the other songs on the other albums we've discussed that I liked. But at the same time, I was like, Lacey's gotta know, like, this still fits my, like, vibe of songs.
She knows this is my brand.
Completely on brand. I really liked that song. I can't even tell you. Well, I can tell you, actually, because I also told Jooheon in one of my calls. The first call, I had asked him that it feels like it could be a song off of the Are You There album.
Oh, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, so one of my questions was, is it brand new or is it like a song that you'd produced prior and just it didn't make it onto the final cut? And he said it was brand new and that he actually thinks it's more difficult to make a song and not put it on an album than it is to make a song and like let it sit there and then put it on a later album. So it sounds like every era they just make brand new songs every single time.
Wow.
Which is, I feel like, a lot of work, but he said that it would be too hard, so
I guess it just depends on the person's workflow.
Yeah, and I also think it also depends on, for K-pop at least, concepts, because they're very big on album concepts, era concepts, so I don't think it works as well that way.
Because he could have, if that was the case and he was just making songs, wow, that would have been a lot of tracks that just wouldn't fit, and by the time you would think it would fit for a concept, it's probably years old.
Yeah, so it's a brand new song, he said, but it very much gave me Take One Are You There vibes, and it sounded like it just belonged right in between maybe like Mohe and Oh My on on that album. It seems like it could have just been squished between those two and totally fit in. So Addicted was my favorite.
Play it.
I'm going to. I just don't know where to start, so we'll find out.
You picked a really good spot with Heaven.
Yeah, when Chonghyun's rap started, I was like, dang, I got this.
That was really good.
Okay, here we go.
너가 준 빛이란 아름다움을 천장에 새겨 말라 비틀어져도 난 너의 시선에 또 희망을 품어 지독하게 알면서도 이 끝을 끝내고 싶지가 않아 Your love is dangerous 넌 빠져나올 수 없는 걸 더 갈증은 심해져가 이제 숨이 조여져 와 I feel like I'm dying I feel like I'm dying I'm addicted to you 환상 속의 truth 가망해도 가져낼 수 없는 너는 꿈 Yeah, I'm addicted to you I'm victim of you 아픔조차 황홀하던 중독 같은 꿈
I found a Jooheon spot.
You're extremely good.
I just guessed.
It's kind of weird.
It is a little weird, but I literally just guessed. Like I dragged the slider back and forth, and I'm like, this seems like a good spot. And I just visually eyeball the little like countdown thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're gonna drag it this way, and we're gonna end here. Jooheon started that though, and I was like, oh my god, I did it again.
She's a professional.
I love the ad-libs in that song, and I think a lot of it that really reminds me why it's my favorite and why it reminds me of Take One Are You There is all of the ad-libs in the song, and then on top of it, the really like dramatic sounds. So the instrumental just in the back just sounds so not like dramatic like you would think when you go to, for example, like an orchestra sort of deal and they're playing like that really fast, or like when there's a build up in a movie, but it's like dramatic in the fact that you still don't have any issues listening to it, and it doesn't like scare the crap out of you sort of deal.
Yeah.
But the sounds are just very prominent. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought I was letting you continue.
I mean, that's all I had to say, but I was like, I don't know if this makes sense. I didn't study music in school.
Well, I did not.
Yeah, but of the two of us, you're the art major.
But that doesn't mean I have a focus in music. I just know fonts and branding.
You're more,
look and feel. I can
you're
tell
more
you
artistic than me, so we'll go with it.
If you go with your feelings are correct. And I think music, it ultimately makes people feel different things. So the emotions that you have tied to this, it makes sense. And you had an explanation for it. It's better than saying, I just like the song because I like the song. Then that's really good to hear people explain
what they it's not wrong though to just like a song because you like it, like maybe.
Well, no, I'm just saying because you said I'm an art major.
No,
I'm telling you why. I'm telling you why that it's a legitimate.
I know that. I just meant you're an art major, as in you're the more artistic one.
I don't know.
Is what I'm explaining make any sense?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, it makes sense. Whenever you critique anything or you talk about it and you have a reason for it, it makes it so much better. But when it comes to music, music is so magical, and it's a whole nother level of artistry that I would love to just understand completely one day, because the way people compose songs is always crazy. Like they really just they put this together. They put all these sounds together.
That's what one thing that always blows my mind about music is like they put it together and they composed it and what was going through their head, but then also like each single individual can interpret it a different way. Like I doubt, or I don't doubt, but who knows, listening to this review, if anybody that listens is gonna be like, yeah, Addicted is nostalgic, it reminds me of that era as well. Was it just me? Did somebody else have that same feeling? Like,
and even this is why I enjoy docu-series-esque things, because you can see the process, like how DPR they put out a little documentary. I guess that's what you could call it. It was a long video about how they put together Is Anybody Out There?
Yeah,
and
I remember.
You could hear what it was before and what it is now. That's the stuff I want to be in the room. Just let me be a fly on the wall to hear the track from start to finish and be like, wow, like you guys got here with this track. Who would have thought? Not me. I don't know. I'm just amazed. I'm amazed every time, even with lyrics, how people are like, yeah, I was feeling this. So, and I got inspiration from so and so. So I just put it together and I made this song. I'm rambling. But that's how I feel. I think you did a great explanation. That's the point of whatever the heck this was.
Well, thank you. And I'm glad the explanation made sense, because half the time when I'm explaining things, I'm like, I said this one specific word 5 times already. Am I being too repetitive? Or I'm like, this makes sense to me, but does it make sense? Like, did I explain this correctly? So I'm glad it did make sense. But that song makes me feel very like nostalgic, and that was my favorite era. So I really like Addicted because it kind of takes me back to that time.
I was waiting for you to figure out what you were.
I don't know what I was. I didn't know, because like I just said, I said era so many times already that I was like, do I want to say era?
Okay. Well,
again.
Are there any other tracks that you would like to give a shout out to?
Secrets, for one, just because Hyungwon wrote or produced? No. Was it Secrets? Yeah. Secrets, because Hyungwon wrote and produced it, and obviously Jooheon and IM like wrote their parts, so they're mixed in with all of that. But he wrote and produced it, and it's a whole English song.
Well, play it.
Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to play it. Okay. Let me
Well, you
get
wanted to give
ready.
it a shout out.
I mean, I thought we were just doing a shout out, but
Oh, well,
it's fine. It's fine because this is a short enough album that it doesn't really matter.
this will be the one, and then we'll be done, I guess.
Okay, here we go.
Those eyes, I wanna start tonight. No, no, no more lies. Tell me what you want, tell me how to hold ya. And I'll tell you something good that I never told ya. Baby, you got me feeling high, so would you please give me a sign? Tell me what you want, no, the night is over. What's your secret? Posting on a coach, yeah, my daily routine. Ain't no clothes, yeah, that's what I need. You want me to slide to your side? Tell me then how many times
I want 1, 2, 3 to the 4. We go up to the sky on the board. Flying high, yeah, it's a goodbye. Every day, you're my surprise.
So that was Secrets.
It was a good song. The whole album is like.
Oh, the whole album is really good. There's not a bad, and like I
Mhm.
repeated, I have had it on repeat. It's just I wanted to give a shout out to this song because Hyungwon wrote and produced it, and then Changhyun and Jooheon wrote their English raps, and they had like 2 different sets. That was one, and then there's another one later on. But I was surprised because obviously Monsta X being one of my favorite groups, I stayed up until like 2 a.m. when the album dropped.
Oh Lord.
Don't question it.
I don't. I mean, you've always done stuff like that, so you know I value sleep.
I mean, I value sleep too. I'm nocturnal, and I'd rather sleep during the day and be active at
Oh
night.
my gosh, no. This is why we're opposites.
Anyway, I stayed up for the release, and typically the music video drops at like 2, and then it takes maybe like 15 minutes minimum for the album to appear on Spotify. Lately they've been getting better, so it's faster.
Mhm.
But it's like 2 in the morning and I'm listening to this album one time through, and I'm not retaining anything, obviously, because it's 2 in the morning. I just wanted to listen to all of the songs one time through and then like go to sleep. Well, I listened to everything one time through and I was like, something's different. And so I went back and listened to Addicted again because literally after the first listen, I was like, this is my favorite song. So I listened to Addicted again and I started at track 3. And after Addicted finished, it went into Secrets. And the second listen, it gets past the intro and to like the start of the vocals. And I'm like, is this in English? And so I rewind it and I restart the song again. And I listened to it up to the point that I got to before. And I'm like, this is in English.
Wait a minute.
So I just wanted to give a shout out to that song because one, Hyungwon wrote and produced it, which means he wrote it in English, which is really impressive to me. Like I know they have a whole English album, but the fact that they just didn't tell anybody this was going to be an English song and stuck it smack dab in the middle of the album for all like the international fans.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it was really nice and it was a really big surprise and it threw me for a loop at 2 in the morning, but it just really impressed me after listening to the album. The more I listened to the album, the more impressed I became, just because it means that Hyungwon wrote this song like in English with the intentions of it being in English.
They're gonna keep doing that, honestly.
Well, they're rumored to have an English comeback now after One of a Kind promotions have ended, which they have. They're rumored to have another English comeback by like the end of this year, I'm guessing, and I'm assuming it's gonna be before their world tour.
Oh, and then
Shownu,
that's definitely gonna be part of the
Shownu enlists, so that's a little bit sad because I don't know if he's gonna be on the English album. I thought we had enough time for him to be on the English album. I already had accepted that he wasn't gonna be at the world tour, but I was like, dang, I thought we at least had him for the English album. But I don't know, like, have they already done the English album? Maybe he's on it. Who knows? But there's a part of me that's like, what if he isn't?
I don't think so.
So
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll find out. But
maybe he can record on the bass. It's okay. Just,
hey guys, I'm sending you the demo.
Maybe if anything, he could have wrote some lyrics.
Maybe we'll just have to wait and find out. But makes me. I know Twitter was like crying the other day when he announced it just out of the blue, because he just recently had his eye like operated on again. He announced it out of the blue, like, hey, I'm enlisting, and everybody was freaking out and getting sad, and I was like, they already delayed it by a year, so
Listen.
I'm like,
Magnus? Was that Magnus?
No.
Who was that?
I don't know.
Who me out?
I don't know.
Well, whoever it was preaching to the choir when I say, I understand the feeling.
No, I understand the feeling too. Like, Zico's already enlisted, but it didn't hit me like right away because everybody
just enlisted.
Yeah. Well, not about Zico, but
well, I'm just saying. I felt like, oh my god, I just feel like he just now, like he just didn't. He didn't do it already. That's how I feel.
It was weird. Like, there was a weird disconnect of seeing everybody in the Monbebe universe just like freak out about Shownu enlisting, because at first it didn't hit me because I had told myself, like, okay, it's gonna happen because they already delayed it by 1 year. Like, he's literally the age, he has to go now or he's in trouble. And so it didn't really hit at first, but then, like, after everything died down, like 3 days later, then it hit, because then I realized, okay, Shownu's got delayed by a year. Kihyun and Hyungwon? No, Kihyun and Minhyuk are 93 liners. So they're my age. They have to go next
Who's
year.
Next? Go.
And then after that, Hyungwon has to go, and then we hit Jooheon, and then we hit IM. And so I was like, holy cow, it's just gonna be like
It's such a ripple
effect. It really is.
Insane.
And because Shownu's got delayed, it's become an actual ripple effect of like, okay, one member goes, then the next 2 members have to go, and then the next member, and so then it hit me of like, oh my god, at some point Jooheon has to enlist.
Oh, girl.
And then I was like, oh my god, at some point the whole group might be gone, like all of them at once. And that's when it hit me for sure, and I got sad because like I listen to Monsta X at least every day when I'm like,
well, I hope by that time
someone is back.
It's just like when they're gone that long, I get
well,
nervous.
that's how I felt for 2 p.m. and then they had their comeback recently, so that was good. But it was
oh my god, they were dancing with Jungkook's single.
I saw that. 2 p.m. had
so
a comeback though, and that was really cool, especially because Taehyun is not in JYP anymore. So that was really cool to see them come together and have a comeback. So like, I'm not worried about it, but it hit me a little bit later than everybody else freaking out, because I was like, oh, we're fine, and then I was like, oh no, we're not fine, because Shownu delayed his enlistment, and now I might not have music from Monsta X.
You're just gonna have to put some things on repeat. It's gonna be okay.
I
could get through it, if I could get through it, you could get through it.
That's when I actually had like a realization of like, oh my god, I'm gonna be listening to like 2018 Monsta X in 2020 something.
Absolutely. And it's still gonna slap.
It is, but it just surprised me, because then when I finally reached the realization that everybody else had the day of, I was like, oh, this is what people are sad about.
Differently, it's okay.
I was just
things take time.
I was just like, oh, this is what people are sad about. I get it now.
Wow. Interesting.
I don't want to play it, but I also do want to give a quick shout out to all of the songs, but Bebe was really good as well, because they wrote it for Monbebe. So the last like 2 or 3 comebacks, they've been sticking in songs that are dedicated to Monbebe, so that was pretty cool. And then Rotate was one of the songs that when I first listened to, I was like, I don't know if I like this, and then all of a sudden it got stuck in my head one day. So I want to give a shout out to Rotate, because it's super freaking catchy. It wasn't that I disliked it, because I liked all of the songs on the album, but I was like, this one's got to be my least favorite. And then one day while I was working, it was just in my head, and I was like,
usually how it happens.
I don't even remember memorizing this. How did it end up in my head?
It's because you've had it on repeat.
But even before that, I mean, it probably was. I had it on repeat enough at that point.
I mean, when you have a catchy melody,
It is
it's
catchy.
there.
I think what turned me off for that song originally was the auto tune, but
Mm-hmm.
then I got used to it, and then it became like bearable for me.
Mm-hmm.
Too much auto tune throws me off. So when I heard how much there was in Rotate at first, I was like, eh. But then the beat and everything just it got stuck in my head, and I was like, okay, well, maybe it's not my least favorite anymore.
It has its place in your heart.
It does.
Well, I have nothing else to add. It was a good album.
It was.
Give it a listen.
Keep streaming, Gambler, for Jooheon.
Keep streaming. Never stop. Just have it on repeat. I don't know what to say. I have nothing else to add. Thank you so much for buying me and my niece an album.
Of course. Thank you for
So
joining.
happy that you were able to meet your bias again. And soon, you guys are going to have inside jokes.
we'll see how far we level up. I have progressively gotten less nervous.
You gotta claim it. You have to claim it.
Well, I feel like not like that, but I feel like I'm getting better at this. I definitely have been
You're so much better.
getting progressively less nervous. Like the first call, I had my hands up next to my face because I was like hiding like my smile and stuff, because when I'm nervous I like try and essentially hide myself, and I noticed the last two calls I didn't do that, and so I've slowly started to see myself like, I'm just talking to Jooheon, this is my friend.
Yeah, he's a human, you're a human, it's gonna be all right. You're so much better than what I would do. Like, honestly,
you know, a lot of people keep saying that when I show them these calls, but I'm honestly like, once you really get it out of your head, like obviously the first call I was super nervous because he is my ultimate bias and he is an idol. But then after the next two calls, I knew what the process was loading into the call. I think the only thing that makes me nervous now is trying to record on time and essentially not get caught.
I would literally just stare. I would literally just stare at my bias and be like, wow.
That's what I thought this last call was going to be. I was like, I have nothing to say. I'm just going to sit there and be like, can I admire you? And then he asked me about my hair.
Wow. Just wow. It just clapped for the 30 seconds. Wow. Wow. Amazing. But if you guys want to listen to the album. If there's a song that you thought was, I don't know, if it was your fave, let us know. And we'll see you in the next episode. I'm not really... Follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Also, Lacey said I could shamelessly use our Twitter for plugs. I might be selling some of these albums that I bought for the fan calls. So if any of you are looking for discounted albums, I might post
the platform.
I might use post a link on Twitter. So keep an eye for that. But mostly follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, rate this episode, and leave us any comments, reviews, anything that you might. And look out for the next episode. We keep saying that we're going to get back into recording, and then life happens. So hopefully
we are trying.
Hopefully we won't jinx it this time. But
you better knock on some wood. You have some wood near you?
I do.
Oh, okay, cool.
My desk is wood. It worked out perfectly.
Awesome.
We don't know what the next episode will be quite yet, but we will have it to you as soon as we possibly can.
It's gonna be fine.
It'll be fine. K-pop's ever changing. We can just go with the flow.
Honestly,
and
that's what makes it fun.
And Lacey recently moved. Round of applause, which means we can start video recording at some point.
After I get my life together and order a desk and a chair.
The keywords there were at some point, but
soon
at some point.
Need it immediately.
At some point we will be able to start recording, and hopefully we will expand our platform to YouTube. So keep an eye out for that.
That'll be super fun.
Yeah, it will. I'm excited because then people can see how much of a dork we are, and then we won't be able to we'll be able to edit the episode.
You're just so excited you don't even know what to say.
Stumbling over my words. I was gonna say we'll be able to edit the podcast episode, but then they're gonna see all of the cuts that we make in the video, or they're not gonna see any of the cuts, and they're just gonna
not cutting.
They're gonna have the bloopers to deal with, and they're gonna be like, I don't remember listening to this.
It's literally, we're not cutting the YouTube stuff. We're just not. It's just going to be natural, and it's just going to be what it is.
So it's going to be with my cats running around in the
Yes.
background.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
fireworks Lacey experience.
Yes, because none of the podcasters I watch, they never cut theirs. It's just all, it is what it is.
All
And
the
that's why their
podcasters
episodes are over an hour.
All the podcast episodes I watch on YouTube don't have as many bloopers, so I guess we just got to get better at.
I think we're getting better. I don't think it's an issue for us to derail.
I don't either.
Because at least it's not an hour of derailing and then
getting back to the topic.
30 minutes of the actual subject.
No, we've definitely got better since we started, but we'll just have to see how it goes.
I'll make sure we're on track.
Right at time limit.
No, it's not even. It's my fault too. It doesn't matter.
Anyway, you'll get to see everything in all of its glory.
Yeah, see you guys later.
Bye. Thank you for listening.